What up? This is Tony, aka Shay, coming back at you with YORUBADE. If this is your first time on my channel, definitely look at my other videos and subscribe if you find the content relevant to what you're doing in your own life. If you've been here before, I appreciate you actually coming back, taking the time to look at my other videos. Definitely try to put as much thought as I can in these videos and to create content that's more of a different type of attitude, rather than just entertainment pieces that we usually tend to see. So as the title shows, I'm talking about income, 7 streams of income. Now I do want to make clear that I'm not talking about 7 streams of the same income. I'm talking about 7 different streams, different types of streams of income. So just remember that you want to be well diversified in anything that you do. It's really for security, financially, and so that I mean, you just have all your bases covered in situations like what we have going on right now, which is the pandemic. So I'm going to talk about the 7 streams that I came across and what I learned, and maybe just put my own personal experiences along with it so that you can pick it up and maybe it's something that, you know, speaks to you and you can try it and you can implement it in your own life, your family's life, and do a lot better. For this video, I specifically, really for all my content, I specifically talk to West Africans and West African brothers and sisters, just because that's the, you know, that's who I'm a part of. Doesn't mean that anyone else can't use it, but you know, I got a special love for my West African folks, and also the ones in the U.S. So yes, if you're somewhere else, then you can use the content, but for my experiences, it's going to be more relevant to the people that are actually in the US. So I'm gonna start with the first one. So the first one is what typically we all have, is earned income, which is a job. We all have jobs. This is what our parents did when they came over here, when they migrated over here. They was looking for a job, and then from there they rose up. Now a job is cool depending on what your mission and passion is in life, but it's also really risky if that's all you have. And having 2 jobs, you know, you're trading your time for money, and it's not, in the long run, it's not a wise investment, because you can never get that time back. The money you can always make up, but you can never get that time back. So, but anyways, that's the first stream of income. At least having a job, that's the starting point for a lot of people. Make sure you have that covered. The second one is profit income. So income that comes from selling something. So rather than being the consumer all the time, which is what our group tend to be, we are like the biggest consumers in, I believe, the world, especially in the US. We consume a lot. We're not producing a lot of products. So you want to find an avenue where you can sell something and have that income coming in as well, so that you're not just selling your time for money. You know, it's also it's all about your margins, your profit margins, and the quality and units and all the extra stuff. I'm not going to get deep into it, but it's good to be a producer, you know, sometimes. I'm not saying you have to do it all the time, but at least switch it up. Don't always be the one that's buying stuff, because essentially you'll just be spending your life working to spend money. You know, you don't, it's like a rat race. You don't want to do that. Even in the US, like, it's very easy to sell stuff. Like, business here is very easy. Taxes benefit those that are business owners. I mean, just think about it. Like, you can actually sell a bag of shit and call it manure and be a millionaire off of it. And people are doing it. All those farmers, you know, they have to have their crops. They buy manure, feed, pig feed, and the ones that are selling those products are millionaires. I don't know about billionaires. I don't know any company specifically, but I do know that they're millionaires. So that's, you can sell anything in the US, take advantage of it, build your business so that you can benefit from the tax deductions. So that's number 2, the profit income. Number 3, interest income. So income from lending money. Initially, it sounds like, oh man, I don't have money to lend out and give. I get that, but there's, because of the internet, remember, you really use the internet to your benefit. So when it comes to lending money, there's not organizations, but groups out there, or companies where it's basically lending clubs. So what you do, essentially what it is people that are trying to get loans. The bank usually are more strict, and the interest rates might not be the most favorable. So people will look at private loans. So this is where you come in. You invest in a pot with other investors to have money available for these private borrowers, and then those private borrowers make their money, or they pay back the loan as they do with their regular what you call it they pay back by their monthly payments and their notes or whatever, and you get the interest from that payment. So yes, there's always going to be risk involved. What if they default? I'm not specifically sure of what protections that it offers. I haven't got a chance to do it myself, but that's one of the areas I was actually looking at to invest. But nonetheless, you can put your pot in just a little bit of money, or I think to get started you have to invest like $1,000. So if you got $1,000 to spend with the stimulus check that we got, and we might get another one, then that might be an option that you want to look at to lend money. So that's just to get the interest from that, and then of course you can lend more, you get more interest, and that's just one way to do it. Me personally, I feel the way I think about my money now, I'd rather have my money in working for me rather than in my checking account. If it's just sitting there, then I'm losing value due to the inflation. So I want my money to always be working. So I don't like to just have money just sitting in my accounts like that, unless it's an emergency fund. I don't like to do it. So that's number 3. Number 4, dividends income. So basically income that you get from stocks, bonds, mutual funds. I think statistically, black people are the lowest group of people that really invest in the stock market. So especially I'm talking, once again to my West African brothers and sisters. We gotta, we should be even bigger participants in the stock market. Now the stock market is down. Everyone is fearful. Don't worry. The stock market always goes down and it always comes up. It always goes up and down. But if you look at the trajectory of where it's been since like 1920, the inception of it, it's always trending upwards, because remember, inflation is always going up. So you want to be a participant of it. Don't invest more than what you're willing to lose, is really the general rule. So if you lose your money, yeah, it sucks, but at the same time, you're not losing sleep over it. You're not losing your home. Just be a participant in it. A lot of people build wealth on the stock market. Don't just be on the sidelines. Actually be in the game. So that's number 4. Just dividends from stocks and just being an investor in the stock market. So number 5, rental income. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You get income from people that rent out your houses. My own personal experience, the first house that I had was a dual unit, an upstairs and a downstairs unit, completely separated. And I found it off of Zillow, and I was basically cash flowing since day one. So it was very, 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 very easy going into the game. Already had one of the top tenant was paying the mortgage. The bottom tenant, it was like an extra paycheck a month. So you can only imagine how great that felt. So just being in the game of being a landlord and actually making that money as passive income really helps. So that's the 5th. So we're up to 5. You're doing pretty good, especially in a situation like the pandemic where those people that only had a job, they don't have any other income source. But if we're up to 5, we're doing pretty good. So number 6, capital gains income. So purchasing assets that increase in value. So I heard this question before, and I'm going to repeat it to you all, and just think about it. If you have a land ranger and you have a landlord, you're stupid. I'll say it again. If you have a land ranger and you also have a landlord, you're stupid. Why? Because as soon as you drive that car off the lot, it is depreciating in value instantly. And you can never get that value back. As opposed to a home, when you first get that home, well, it's, for the most part, it's always appreciating, or it maintains its value. Regardless, it's an investment, it's going to appreciate. Even in a down market, it can go down, but it has the potential to always go up regardless. So it's just a better way to spend the bulk of your money. Or see it this way. Does this make sense to you? You're renting houses and buying cars. Like, just think of that concept. You're renting houses but buying cars. I don't think I have to say much, so we're all intelligent people here. You see where I'm going with it. So that's number 6. So the last one I'm going to say that is really fun is a royalty income. So income that comes from people using your idea, basically your intellectual property. I believe we all have skills. If we're around, let's just say my audience, you all around there 25 and up, we have some type of unique experience or interest or whatever that someone will be willing to pay money for. So the royalty income comes from books. You can do an ebook, very easy. I did my own. I talked about it a few times in my videos. I got links for it where I talk about dating, 4 essential traits to look for when you're dating to help someone out. Write a book about whatever you feel like you're expert in, or even if you don't feel like you're an expert, just write something. Me personally, I like reading from, I like getting content from other black people. Reason being is they have a unique experience as me, and we pretty much go through the same hurdles of racism here. We understand the glass ceiling and everything that goes from that. White people just don't understand that part, and they never will. So learning from someone that another black person that was able to make it resonate more with me, because it's letting me know they did a lot more work. So that's why I like to read content from them. So we need more people from that, especially West Africans. I want to see more books. I want to see more ebooks. I want to see more courses from my West African brothers and sisters. I'm just being real. Like, it's just, I guess it's a pride thing. It makes me feel good, and lets me know that, yo, we're setting the standard now. It ain't just about getting degrees and that's it. Like, nah, we're actually producing content, intellectual property. Like, we can be in this game. Everyone else profits from us, so why don't we be the ones that profit the most? So I'll give you a bonus tip. And I said this before, but one thing I try to think about when I am a consumer and I'm about to spend my money, I want to invest about 50% of what I spent. So let's just say Nike, for example. If I'm going to buy Nike shoes for $200, I want to come and spend about $100 on Nike stock. Now, I don't know the ticker of Nike right now, but you always have apps like the Stash app. You got Cash App where you can buy fractional shares of a company. So regardless, you can always invest that $100. So in about 5 years, those $200 Nike shoes are not going to be worth $200, but that $100 is going to be way more than that $200. It increased in value. So that's just a tip for me. I guess for women, if you like Chanel purses, then spend however much you spend on Chanel purses, maybe it's like $300, then spend like $150 on the stock if they have one. I don't know, but you kind of see where I'm going with it. Those are all the tips I got for you, and see me in the next video.